Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So listen to part 2 of my story. So in the first part, I'm going to call this part 2. And in part 1, I told you about how I grew up in Jamaica and with my dad. Just didn't have a good time. And all that happened. I'll put a link below to link back to part 1. And so now I want to talk about growing up with my mom after she moved back in Spanish Town. And so this part of the story is coming to you from none other than a place called Grandscape in the Colony, Texas. Right, I figure, it's a great evening out. It's early May. Today's May 6th. Great evening. Just didn't want to be at home to let a nice evening like this go. So let me give you a quick turn around. Just look around. So this is what Grandscape looks like. A recently built complex that they developed for entertainment, food and drinks, and all kind of exciting activities. And so people just come out here on Friday evening, like today, Saturday evening, and Sunday evening. Now back there, where I'm going to walk to in a minute, they have a big stage that they have live music in the evening. And so this is the big Ferris wheel that I have there. Let's see if I can tilt up to show you what the whole thing looks like. It's a giant Ferris wheel. Anyway, so this is where my story, second part of the story, is coming from. All right. Hope you guys like that. All right, so we left off where my mom had moved back to Spanish Town, and like I said before, my mom had 9 of us. Okay, there we are, and to look at, if I could get some good lighting here, and to look at us individually. So what you're looking at on the screen that's me, and then there is Fate, that's Jackie, then John, that's Sandra, then there's Cheryl, there's Francine, there is Ratcliffe, and then there's Karen. I don't think I missed anyone. Who did I miss? I think I got everybody. Anyway, so when my mom moved back to Spanish Town, she was living at a place called Jones Penn Avenue, and we had some good time there. We didn't live there for long, it seems, but it was great there. I remember used to look forward to Christmas. I know me and Faith used to look forward to Christmas because every special holiday, like Christmas or something, one place we're looking forward to, right? And that's our aunt in Kingston to go see Michael and Anne-Marie. But we're not always fortunate to see them, right? A lot of times we got there and they're not there. And check this out. We must have been like about 8 or 9 when we're traveling from Jonestown, from Spanish Town, to go see my aunt. She was still living back up in Miracle Lane in Kingston. And my mom would give us instructions and which bus to take. So let me see if I remember and can get this correctly now. So, come to think of it, I'm thinking that if I was still in Jamaica and my kids were like 9 or 8 or 9, would I trust them to take the bus by themselves from Spanish Town to Kingston? I don't know if I would. I'd be so nervous. But then it's a different time, because back then, we didn't have all the crime and all that kind of stuff the way it is today. Today it's rampant. And so she gave us instructions to. So we usually take 2 buses. And she would say, okay, we need to take either the Penovaland or the Bronx Express, right? So if we take the Penovaland bus, and that was the name of the bus, but we just called it Penovaland. So if we take that bus, then I think that would kind of go like Agnes Park Road. I think we used to have one of them that go like Bronx Park, but most of the time it travel from Spanish Town and then in Kingston along Agnes Park Road to up to, I think, Alfred Tree and then Cross Road. So we used to get off at Alfred Tree, I think, and then would go take either the 35 or the 37. Now, we're going to Manningsville Road, right, where Mary Crane Lane is. So when we take the 35, that would travel along Red Hills Road and then up Whitehall Avenue, and then, down in Avondale, and would get off at Manningsville Road and go into Mary Crane Lane. And if we take the 37, then that's travel along Constant Spring Road and then across Manningsville Road and then down to Avondale as well, and would again get off at Manningsville Road and down in Mary Crane Lane. So that's the route we used to go. So that's one of the highlighted good times I remember on Jonespen Avenue. Then when we're not doing that, of course, when she just moved, we were still leaving Jonespen Avenue and walking all the way to Tredegar Park All-Age School. I don't remember that I did that for long, because then she switched us from Tredegar Park All-Age School to Harmon Barracks. I think the littler ones, they were still going to Tredegar Park School. I don't remember how they get there, but I know me, Faith, and John used to go to Harmon Barracks because Jackie was in the country, like I explained from part 1 of the video, or my grandfather had come and took him away and took him to the country in St. Thomas. And so it was the 3 of us going to Harmon Barracks, and then when she moved from Jonespen Avenue to Tredegar Park, I was still going to Harmon Barracks. I believe all 3 of us were still going to Harmon Barracks. And then I think John got switched back to Tredegar Park All-Age School. And then me and Faith was still going to Harmon Barracks. Then, come to think of it, I'm trying to remember what happened after that, because I don't remember if Faith got switched back to Tredegar Park or what. But I know that I was still going to Harmon Barracks and then transferred to Spanish Town Secondary, which is now Spanish Town High School, right? But so that's the highlighted part that I remember out by Jonespen Avenue. We did a lot of walking from there to Tredegar Park, and then sometimes we walked to Central Village, and that's quite a long walk. Every time I think about the amount of walking that we did and try to imagine the distance between the different places, seems like about 10 miles or something, because to walk from Jonespen Avenue to Tredegar Park seems like about 10 miles. One day I'll have to go check it to be certain, but it was a long walk. Anyway, so when we moved back to Tredegar Park now, remember I said in the first video that the whole time I was living with my father, I was just so unhappy, sad, depressed, and I had no good time at that point. But with my mom, we had a blast. We had nothing, We had no radio, no television, no refrigerator, no electricity. But because there were so many of us, we had some good time, right? So we moved back, a lot of excitement, still walking from there to Spanish Town Secondary, I remember. And before we get to Spanish Town Secondary, when we go to Almond Barracks, I mean, life was such that we don't even know if we're coming home to dinner. So a lot of times when we're supposed to be in school, we're not in school. We're at the library looking at stuff, looking at pictures, you know, that sort of thing. And just walking around the Spanish Town Square, that used to be the capital of Jamaica at one point, right? And then have to walk back through Ensom City. You know, if the river is flooded, then we walk all the way around the other side, which is, I call it past Spanish Town Hospital, and then cross this bridge that we call Pole Bridge. Right? Yeah, there were two bridges. You used to have a bridge from Kingston to Spanish Town, and then this was the old bridge from back in the Spaniard days, we used to call it. And then they said something went wrong with the bridge, it cracked or something like that. They couldn't use it to drive vehicle across it anymore. So then New Bridge, call it New Bridge, was built, where you know, the cars and everything drive from Kingston to Spanish Town, and then this old bridge, we still walk across it. All right, so we were in Trinidad Park. We had some good time with my mom. Didn't have much, but we had a lot of time. Those were the days when every Christmas, leading up to Christmas, we would get busy expecting visitors. Either my aunt, my uncle, or somebody may come and visit us. My mom would be, you know, doing cleanup, would be cleaning up the yard, making sure all the bushes are all chopped down. She'd be, you know, she was a seamstress, so when she's not buying, she's making new curtains, bedspread, and just making the house look nice, cleaning the floor. We used to have wood floor. Again, this is the house that we grew up in. The floor is wood, and boy, when we clean that floor and shine it red, you know. So we used to look forward to stuff like that. And Easter time, I was reminding my sister the other day, I kind of break her chops and, hey, it's Easter. Did you put out the egg in the glass to see what it forms? Because that's what they used to say back then. Easter, you break the egg and you put it out. We never did it because proper English, we never done it, right? And the reason is they used to say whatever the egg forms, that kind of determines your future, what you become. And we all said, well, we don't want it to turn in a coffin. So we never do it. So I was breaking her chops the other day. I said, hey, do you put out the egg? And she said, she did one when I asked her, and it formed something. She wasn't sure what it formed, like a little city. And I said, well, maybe that's because you're in a city. So you'll always be in Baltimore. But some highlights that I remember in Trinidad Park with my mom, you know, of course, we used to have the river there that runs through Trinidad Park. And I remember, again, go down there to swim and bathe, especially in the summertime. The funny thing is that we'd swim naked. Even though girls would be around washing their clothes nearby, we'd be naked and not even thinking about it, right? And so, me and my friends, you know, my best friends at the time, Leroy and Hudlin and we used to call him Skinny from back to, we used to go down in the river, right? And there's an embankment with made out of clay. We'd just kind of flash the water up there and we'd be naked, wrestling each other, and it's slippery. So we're trying to wrestle each other off the embankment down in the water, and the last man standing would be like the champion. And then when we're tired of that, then we'll leave and probably go some type of mango bush, or we call it go bush, go look something, right? Go look mango or orange, or go cane field, cut cane. Now that I think about it, when we said go cut cane, we were actually stealing cane, right? Because the cane field belonged to you know, the estate that they use it to make sugar and white rum. And that's across in Ensom City. So we have to cross the river through Ensom City to get to the cane field. So we'd go do that. When we're not doing that, we go up like, we used to call up there Cross Pen, or to like the bottom part of Pinnacle. Go look mango. And then come home and eat mango all day, or orange or something like that. Another highlights I remember, we used to go look Guinea and then bundle them up and go across to Ensom City and sell them for like 5 cents a bundle. Sometimes people would say, I only have 3 cents, and we'd take it. So our total sale for the day would be like 35 cents. Can you imagine? And we're happy with 35 cents because when we come back home, that can do a lot. You know, do a lot in the house to help mama out with 35 cents. And go buy things like bun and cheese, ice mint, box juice or box milk. I used to love chocolate milk in the box. Back then, that was my favorite. Or the cherry, I think we used to have one they called the cherry milk. I used to like that too. And so guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and the story, of course. And I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you in part 2.